We'll see if this is going to work, folks. Okay, I'm here again. We'll see if you guys are here too. Weird stuff right here on the Paranormal Portal. I might have to actually nerf this stream. Okay, Batman's here. It's coming. It's a-coming. Here you guys come, back in action. Yeah. Yeah, it kind of got nerfed. Everything got nerfed. I don't know what happened. I'll let people pile in. What happened? Boy, I'd love to tell you. I don't know. I know my OBS froze up, but here's the thing with YouTube. Generally, it'll say, oh, replenish the stream, and it gives you like a minute or so. But for some reason, YouTube went, boom, done. And I don't know. It's very unusual. No, it's not just your connection. It was mine, James. I don't know. It's, well, here we are asking questions of a bunch of unseen spirits. And what happens? You be the judge. Is that related? Maybe. Again, there's no absolutes in any of this, but could we have pissed something off? Maybe. I think I'm being cordial and friendly, but maybe it's not well received. I don't know. Not sure. Drop the link on the old vid to this one. Good. Yeah. I mean, hopefully most everybody will do that. Again, Boneho chewed on the cord. Yeah, Boneho made it all the way over here, Elaine. I don't know. It's very strange. But again, hi, Justin. Good to see you. Thanks for coming back. Thanks for all of you guys for reconnecting. I don't know what the hell's going on. Everything crashed. Exactly. Yeah. It crashed here too. So, is this show going to be on for another 40 minutes? I'm going to continue doing the show because I didn't lose the network. I just lost YouTube. I just lost you guys. So I don't know what's going on, guys. Very strange. I think we can probably continue. Might as well. I guess, if we already pissed something off, we might as well see it through. But good God. Let's continue asking questions or see. I did get a message from Portal Mom. She said, I can't hear you. It's like, yeah, because everything crashed. Everything died. It's very unusual. Very unusual. All right, here we go. Relaunching the Spirit Talker. We'll just see. We'll see if more comes out. So was that disconnect caused by one of you unseen spirits that are here? Did one of you guys screw with the computers and the connection? You have to let me know. We'll keep an eye on it. Again, I got the app here, Spirit Talker. This is the app. Somebody asked, what app are you using? This is called Spirit Talker. So it is a pay app, but it's only like a few bucks. So if you're interested in pursuing this, again, I would advocate caution. I think it's always, we don't know what we're talking to. We can do our best to mitigate anything negative and to ward things by, tuning the environment and stuff to keep negative things out. But at the same point, again, my blackout curtain fell yesterday when I was sitting right here. Just fell off the window, covering my mic. And that never happened in 5 years. It's never happened in 5 years did that curtain leave that window. And now in the last week, it's happened twice. So we'll see. It looks like it's holding good now. But what is it? I don't know. Here comes. Oops, did I turn? Family. Oh, it says family. Yep, I didn't. I want to make sure I didn't turn the volume off because I usually keep my phone muted. Nothing annoys me more than a ringing phone. Only my phone. I don't get annoyed by other people's phone ringing, but I don't know. It's just one of those things like, just gets into my zen or something. I'm not sure, but supposed to be able to see the auroras all the way down to the States for around a week. Oh, very cool, Grumpy Owl. Oh, dear God. It says he killed us. Someone killed you? Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. That's horrible. Well, he's not welcome here. That's not okay. Is he, was he someone you knew? Was he a family member? As you said, family, and then you said he killed us. So is that relating to the he? That's horrible if that's the case. I'm so sorry to hear that. Does he have a name? Again, if you could make that ball flash over there or walk up to the device that's leaning on the towel, it'll light up. Neither of those devices will hurt you or harm you in any way.
Footstep.
Footstep. I don't hear any footsteps. Of course, I got earphones on, but nope, it's very quiet here. I don't hear any footsteps. Are you hearing footsteps? I'm probably going to have to delete this whole stream now because it's going to be in 2 parts, and that just won't be real good. But, you know, what do you do? I don't know why it disconnected. It hasn't happened in quite a long time. When I had a weaker connection, when I was on cable and stuff, disconnects would happen every once in a great while, but they would happen. And that's one of the reasons I upgraded to the, fiber connection, because I need to be able to rely on the stream. And ever since I've had the fiber, I've never had that happen that I recall. I don't think so. Maybe I'm forgetting, but as I'm getting older, I forget more. But the disconnect was certainly unexpected. I did have my app freeze for a second, but then it was only seconds. And YouTube, I don't know how long did the freeze happen for you guys? Is it doing it again? Spirit, make the ball flash. I'm not commanding you. Oh, we got Nicola again. This came up was that last night? Did it come up? Nicola. Okay. Well, is that his name? Was he the one that you're saying hurt you?
Potentially. He potentially hurt you? Or what does that mean? This is a lot of fun. Makes it spooky. Yeah, it is kind of spooky. What did? Supposed to be able to see the orders. Yep. Spirit, make the ball flash. What did he saying? Yes, it did, John. I don't understand. Yeah, I thought Tesla last night too, but that doesn't make a lot of sense. Plan. Although someone did talk about a message on YouTube from last night's episode, and they talked about the correlation between the Edwardian time, Edwardian, and several of the names came up had relation to King Edward, including Nikola Tesla. So it was kind of interesting. Someone was able to draw correlations between most of what came up last night. And you'll have to refer to the YouTube comments for that. I don't remember the specifics, but I think one of the names was Connie, and it was Constance, who was like a wife of King Edward or something like that. So very interesting that someone was able to correlate so many of those, I don't know, facts. I don't know if we can call these facts. Richard, how you doing, Richard? If you're here, Richard, could you make the ball flash? Could any of you make the ball flash? I should almost set out more than one ball. I got a bunch of those things. Where the hell are they? I got stuff everywhere in here. I'm a typical disorganized person. But I'm trying to remember where I put all the cat balls. I don't remember. Nope, they're not there. Nope. And they're not there. I don't know where they are for sure. But I was thinking about putting out several just to see. YouTube is not receiving enough video
to maintain smooth streaming. But I got green over here. I got a green connection. Here's another name.
Christy.
Christy. How you doing, Christy? Thank you for joining us tonight. Appreciate you being here. We're going to do this for a couple more minutes and we'll go to the cryptid corner. Again, I apologize for all of the weirdness tonight in the drop stream and all of that. I don't know what happened, but to any of the spirits that are here trying to communicate with us, you only have a few minutes left. And so if you'd like to let us know that you're here, please make the little ball that's over on the other table next to the candles. If you move that a little bit, it'll start flashing lights, and that'll let us know that you interacted with it. Or get close to the other device that's laying on the towel. If you get close to that or touch it, it may very well light up as well. Neither of those devices will hurt you in any way.
Williams.
Okay. So, but it would go a long way to helping us see that you're here more than just making this thing talk. If you could do that, we'd appreciate it. So, don't see anything on the ghost radar. Just this thing's going off. It seems kind of acting on its bench. Okay. Well, that's a table. It's not a bench. Unless you're talking about something else, or is bench a name? You'll have to let us know. So if some one of you that are here, I don't know how many are here, if you could tell me maybe how many are here with me, that would be wonderful. But also, could any of you make either of those devices that are on the other table laying next to the towel, if you could either move the ball and make it flash, or if you could move close to the item that's leaning against the towel, it'll light up. I don't mean to be redundant and keep repeating myself, but I don't know if you guys are coming and going and there's new ones here, or if the same ones are here, or what's going on. So I can't see you, and that's the problem. I just want to validate that you're indeed here with us. Can you do either of those things? It's alive. Life is always alive. I'm here again. Does that count? For sure, Geeky. That always counts. Being here is important. Attendance is half your grade. I'm just going to say that. So, glad you made it. It all counts. What is this? Justin in Info says, this has been fun with the Spirit Talker. I love how you do your show, and we as an audience will always enjoy your live casts. We all have a great following on this channel. Oh, great. Well, thank you, brother. I appreciate that. It says choose. What is the choices? I can't make a choice when I don't know what the options are. What am I choosing? Okay, I choose the ball. Maybe I'm giving you too much options. I'm choosing to ask you to move the little ball over against the next to the towel on that table to my right. Can you move that ball to make it flash lights and let us know that you're here? We would really appreciate it, please. Maybe it's please. Maybe I'm not asking. Trying to use good manners. You know what they say, you get more flies with honey than with vinegar. Could one of you please move that little ball on the table over there and make it flash lights? That would be wonderful if you could do that. Or not. That's also okay, but it's hard to authenticate that we're actually speaking to someone that's here.
Missed.
It says M-I-S-T, miss, but I wonder if they took a shot at the ball and missed. Well, you can try again if it's that kind of missed. Maybe they're not good spellers. I'm just kidding. Now I'm being kind of a dick, sorry. I don't mean to be disrespectful, of course. I would just love to verify that you're here.
we are at a disadvantage because it seems as though you can see and experience us without a problem, but we cannot see or experience you without some indicators like this. So could you please move that little ball? Make it flashlights. Maybe if you just touch it, it will make it flashlights. Maybe that'll just work. It doesn't necessarily have to roll or move, but maybe if you use your energy, you can make that light up. And that will help us see that you are actually here. Last chance. I would love to see that ball light up. I wouldn't understand it, but I'd love it. Yeah, I mean, it has happened. And when it happens, it does bring another level of gravity to the situation, because it does seem potentially more convincing that we are dealing with a presence that's here that we're not observing. Again, I don't pretend to be able to sense and detect spirits. We got named George. George, can you move the ball, please? Just move the ball. Just make it flash, if you would. We're running out of time. Any of the spirits present, if you wouldn't mind, please help us to see that you're here. Move the ball. That would be great. We have only a little bit of time left and we got to go. And that'll be your last opportunity to speak until the next time I do this show and pull out this app. So I would appreciate it if you would take advantage of this opportunity and help the people watching to see that you're still here. You're not just rumors. You're not just legends, that you're here. Okay. Now Jason's coming.
Jason.
Okay. I appreciate that. I'm going to shut off this app now. But again, thank you for your time and for communicating as best you can. If indeed you're here trying to communicate with us, we appreciate it a bunch. And we'll definitely look into this again in the future. However, in the meantime, while you're not expending energy trying to make this thing talk because it's off, if you could make that ball flash, that would be wonderful. In German, Mist means dung. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Dung. I wonder how mist relates to dung. Is that a German word? M-I-S-T as well? Because here it just means like fog. Just saying. All right. Well, I didn't hear or see anything. It said it threw something. I didn't see anything get thrown. It said footsteps. I didn't hear any footsteps. I don't know. It seems more random tonight than an actual intelligence, but I don't know. Again, sometimes it's you guys that help me correlate the messages, because it's not readily apparent to me sometimes what's being said, but to some of you it is, and that's wonderful. So if you know what's being said, then by all means, please let me know. I don't know unless there's a correlation of a couple of things happening. It's hard to nail it down and say, yes, we talked to spirits tonight on the Paranormal Portal. I can tell you the app went off. It said things, but that in and of itself is not evidence by itself. If it can be correlated by the ball flashings or the K2 meter jumping, upon request, and it's kind of upon request that's important, because I don't know about the cat balls, but I've not seen them go off arbitrarily too much. They seem to be indicating a presence, at least seem to be. But I'm not saying that's a conclusive either. But when you can get something interacting on one device as well as triggering other things to show a continuity of sorts, then it's hard to authenticate. But anyway, we're going to jump over and do some Cryptid Corner. We'll keep this stuff on the screen just in case the ball does decide to do it. I don't know if that's a big ask or not. I'm not currently incarnate in physical or in spiritual form, so I don't know if making it flash is a huge ask. Is it like push my car up to the gas station kind of thing? Or is it just like, oh, ting, and it's done? So I don't know how big of a thing it is to ask for the light to go off, but I've seen it happen both on an active investigation and sitting here in the studio on the live feeds. It's gone off a few times. it seems to say, hey, I'm here. But again, you be the judge. Yeah, I'm not telling you should believe or shouldn't believe. It's just, it's interesting to me. And it's again, with ghost investigating, we're utilizing a lot of bastardized technology, things that weren't developed for this purpose, but seem to be able to be utilized for this purpose, because there's not a lot of people out there developing apps specifically and machines and equipment specifically for investigating. And if they are, they're oftentimes just recycled old ideas that they're putting in a new case with maybe new lights or another feature. But, you know, if we had, engineers and scientists developing things to try to isolate and demonstrate esoteric energies, then that'd be phenomenal. But we don't. We use cat balls. We use electrical EMF detectors, or EM detectors. They are EMF. It actually stands for electromotive force. And it's not electromagnetic field, as most people indicate. But either way, it's common usage, EMF. But, we just use what we have available to us. And oftentimes it's not stuff that's directly suited for it, but it seems like it does actually have investigative merit. So, all right, let me close this. Looks like we got 2 left from Sasquatch Chronicles here. Okay, maybe is this a new one? Yeah. This is a new one. It's another long one. This might be the rest of the show, to be honest with you guys. It's a long one from Sasquatch Chronicles from April 20th. Again, they're talking about Sasquatch Chronicles blog. And again, I'll keep the ghost stuff on screen. If it starts flashing, let me know. I'm going to be reading, so I won't be able to see it. Let's see what's going on here. This is, again, from April 20th. Special thanks to Wes letting us use this for the shows. It was sitting about 75 yards up the hill. A listener writes, now, I currently live in the Pacific Northwest, but I was born and raised in north central Alabama in St. Clair County. The home I grew up in was on a rural residential road, with our neighbor to the southwest having a pasture between us, and our neighbor to the northeast with a small holler between us. Behind us was a forest, thousands and thousands and thousands of acres. In fact, you could hop those ridgelines all the way to North Georgia and East Tennessee without ever really meeting civilization. It's a large area. As a child, my brother and I spent a lot of time back in those woods. The holler between ourselves and the neighbor held a creek. And that creek went all the way back in the woods about a mile and a half through the valleys and hollers to an origin spring. We used to follow that creek all the way back up in those woods past old coal mines, over an abandoned railroad, and just go and explore, as kids do. I remember my mom always telling us to watch Pookie, our Belgian shepherd, when we were deep in the woods, because he let us know when a bear or panther or such was around. And he did. There was a point Pookie wouldn't go past, a couple 100 yards from the railroad track, or times when we wouldn't get very far in and he would signal us to turn around and go back. My brother and I always assumed it was a big cat or a bear. We're never really afraid of those woods, but there would be times a feeling would come over you, a fight or flight response, hair standing up, goosebumps, an overall feeling of uneasiness or danger. I remember several instances as a kid of animals coming really close to the house. Low guttural sounds, whoops and hollers, and Dad wouldn't allow anyone outside, and he'd sit facing the back door with a shotgun or pistol. When we'd ask what it was, he'd say a bear or a panther, but there were times he would say he didn't know because he never heard anything like it. As I grew up and learned more about the world, became aware of my own physical responses to stimuli, I had more experiences. By this time, our beloved Pookie was gone. But we had an Australian shepherd named Molly, and she was so much more happy in the woods than Pookie ever was. And she and I were very bonded. My brother had graduated and moved on, so I spent a lot of time in the woods exploring, looking for rocks or arrowheads and looking for certain plants and roots, etc., all alone. On many occasions, Molly would become frightened and begin to herd me back towards home. She would cry at me and growl at the ridge tops. And as we'd make our way home, my footsteps would be mirrored by something in those days, I'm assuming someone, on top of the ridge to our southwest. Always the southwest ridges, never the other side. If I stopped, the footsteps stopped. Also, if I stopped, Molly would whine. I would occasionally catch movement in my peripheral, but every time I looked, I saw nothing. I smelled nothing. Just knew someone or thing was there, following me. I talked to my mama about it, and she believed me. She began insisting I take a 16 gauge or the 38 revolver out when I went into the woods, just to be safe. I had my steps mirrored on so many occasions out there that it was just part of my hike. It was unnerving in its own way, but nothing had actually ever bothered me, just watched me. I never noticed the full quiet people mentioned. In the Appalachian foothills, there's always something making noise, if only bugs, birds, and frogs. Time went on. I moved away overseas and came home with a husband and 2 kids and started my own family life. We visited Mama and Daddy all the time, but didn't stay there. In the summer of 2010, however, my first husband and I divorced. The kids and I moved in with my parents, and we found our feet. The kids and I shared a room on the back of the house, and my dad had built it back when we were kids, and it just kind of jetted out that way. A 4-room house in the back northwest corner. Almost immediately after moving in, the kids and I started being woken up in the wee hours by bangs on the side of our room. Very loud, room-shaking bangs. Often my mom, who was also such a night owl, would still be up and awake and would wake my dad. He'd listen for a bit, say there was nothing, and then go back to bed. After a couple weeks of this, Mom and I were in the yard and with the kids one evening, and we noticed a footprint in a mossy area near my room. It wasn't as well defined as one would like because it appeared to be a few days old, but you could see toe marks, and it was so big, huge, 3 times or more the size of a man's foot. This was disconcerting, but Mom and I just tried to explain it away. Maybe it wasn't what it looked like. Well, a couple days later, we found a series of very, very long strides and footfalls in some tall grass on our old bean patch. At the edge of the woods on the backside of the house, something very large with an unbelievable stride had made those marks. A regular-sized human wouldn't be able to do the splits and connect the footfalls. The massive, massive footfalls. The bangs continued, along with occasional whoops late at night. My 5-year-old daughter talked about seeing the hairy-faced man in the window next to her bed. One evening, I was standing out in the backyard, a couple of yards from the back porch, when I heard a noise. It began as the beginning of an air raid siren, and it was so sustained. It seemed to keep going and going, but when it ended, it was obviously not a siren. You could hear the natural sound and tone of a voice as it trailed off. I called my mom out for the kitchen just as the second howl started, and she experienced it with me. This is similar to an Ohio howl, but way, way more sustained. I have no idea how anything would have the lung capacity to make this call. Well, a couple of weeks later, we both heard it a third time. Several times in a row. Both times were late in the evening, about or near dusk. The howl was far away. I'd estimate a quarter or half mile at the very least. And that's the thing. You could hear it clearly, loudly, and yet note that it was not near. It would have had to have been eardrum bending loud if you were near it. Not long later, up the ridge directly behind the house, I saw one. I can't be sure, but I'm willing to bet it was female. She was sitting about 75 yards into the woods up in the hill behind a blown over log from a tornado 10 years or so before. I would have never noticed her, to be honest, if she hadn't lifted her arm and scratched an area on her head or face. Her back was to me, but her mannerisms, apparent size, and movements suggested female to me. She was black. I grabbed a pair of small binoculars we kept on the back porch to get a better look. She sat pretty still and just appeared to be resting. She moved her head a little at times, but once shifted her weight from one side to another ever so slightly. Her hair was, I guess, 3 to 5 inches long all over, and obviously matted in places, like spots of her back and the back of her head. And I never saw her face, but the shape of her head was larger and more conical than ours, but not overly. It's hard to say with the amount of hair not seeing it in profile or seeing her face. I certainly don't believe that there was a sagittal crest in any pronounced way, like a gorilla or robust species of Australopithecus, etc. I don't believe their diet requires it anyway. What does that mean? But it was definitely not a bear or any other kind of animal native to the woods. I know exactly what she was. After a few moments, I quietly went back inside to get Mama, but when we came back out, after she got on her sweater and shoes, she was gone. Meanwhile, during this time, this is about September, early October, I was researching like a madman online. Sasquatch wasn't a southern animal in my mind. It was in the Pacific Northwest and the Himalayas. Well, after a while and several discussions with Mom, I contacted someone about our experiences, and I cannot for the life of me remember the name, but the person who organized the research was named Jack or John. I believe by the end of November, we had 2 researchers at our place. One was a gentleman from Louisiana, Scott maybe, and the other I remember more clearly. His name was Paul, and he was called Papa Squatch. He was also a pastor. He's from the northern Alabama, up around Huntsville, I believe. Well, they set out FLIR cameras and pre-built planters facing the woods, and every night I'd get the SD cards, dump them, and reset for the next night, after they left, of course. But they did stay a couple of days. They did some research in the area behind our house, and Papa Squatch put out some digital sound recorders. He unbelievably captured chatter, a female voice for sure. And if I remember right, there was another female, possibly a male, speaking as well. It's been a long time since I heard those recordings, so I can't remember. But if you're in the research community, though, you may be able to find them. I believe Papa Squatch called them after either the nearest town of Pell City or maybe St. Clair County. I really feel like an idiot for not remembering their names, but I've searched online and just can't find anything. As far as I know, nothing was ever recorded on the FLIR cameras, and the activity died down anyway after they came. Maybe the planters were too ostentatious, or something about the researchers' presence made them keep their distance from then on out. That next spring, the kids and I left for Mississippi, where we lived for a while. Not long after that, I met my current husband, who also has 2 kids, and then they became the Brady Bunch. And my life was swept away in raising a household of youngins and working. Other than being always aware, I've never experienced anything else. Not a sound or a sight or a smell. Just the occasional feeling of being watched in the woods. Now we live in the Pacific Northwest, and I spend all my time working as a police dispatcher, and no time for the woods or fun stuff like that. My body's aged too, and traversing the wilderness isn't as easy as it used to be. Wow, that's pretty incredible. Having all those experiences. That's amazing. Huh. There are some areas, I think, where they just live around and among people, and other than being, I guess, other than the mirroring, the footsteps and the howls and screams and stuff, doesn't sound like there was anything aggressive at all going on. And we can't pretend to know exactly what those howls and screams mean. Maybe it's a, hey, it's time to mate call, or maybe it's, this is just to keep those kids off my lawn. You never know. I mean, could be any number of reasons that they make the vocalizations, but
It is kind of bizarre. I don't know how long this next one is. I just want to look quick. I guess we could read this one too, because we got a few minutes left. It's April 21st, tonight's show, The Mississippi Creature. Listener writes, I lived in the very north part of Mississippi my whole life and have been interested in Bigfoot since I was a small kid. I have several stories, and I've personally seen a Bigfoot with my own eyes while playing basketball. Yeah, I think we read this one already. I'll finish reading it anyway. Playing basketball with my older sister as a child. My mother has seen it as well. My uncle has seen it once that I know of. There's also a place in my family and a very few amount of friends go that has to be one of the strangest places I've personally been to, that we have crazy events happen to us. I'd like to share my encounter that only my family and very few select family friends know of. If you'd like to share it on your show, that would be fine with me. Thank you for your time. And then Wes did speak with the eyewitness, and I remember reading that as well. So, yeah, that's going to be that's a good episode. And again, this is from April 21st, so I'm sure it's live already. The Mississippi Creature, I'm sure it is. If we go here, go to the episodes, we can have a look, and you can see which one it is. So I think we snuck up on it. Nightmares, that's a member show. Is that a effing kangaroo? American Werewolf, is that a bear? Remember Scott, The Mississippi Creature. So it's Sasquatch Chronicles episode 947. So it's a members only. If you're already a member, then you can check it out. But if not, maybe you want to think about becoming a member, because my God, I know we all love Sasquatch Chronicles. In fact, I don't think I've met anybody that, I hate that show. I've never heard those words. And if there are somebody out there that doesn't like the show, I seriously question that, because I think Wes does a hell of a job, obviously. He's been at it a long time, and he's set the bar pretty high for all of us. But anyway, I guess that's going to about wrap up the journey for the most part tonight. Let me do this. Go here. I don't know. Did the ball go off at all? Anybody see anything or nothing? Almost lost you again, Brent. Man, what's up with the connection tonight? All right, new rule. Spirits cannot affect the connection to the internet. You're not allowed. Probably need to restart my router, though, too. Every week you should restart your router, just so you know. You should actually unplug it for 30 seconds, let it drain completely, and then replug it in, let it restart. I don't do it near enough, and that could be part of the problem tonight. I don't know. Everything else been running fine, except for YouTube tonight seems to be a little bit problematic. So, again, I apologize for the breakup on the stream tonight. I don't know why it happened for sure, but I can assure you one of the things I'm going to do is restart my router and hope that cures it. But anyway, just some spiritual boundaries are in order. Yeah, they sure are. Yeah, I can see that, if I just leave it carte blanche, then, obviously if the curtain was indeed spiritual and paranormal, then something is being a bit of a pain in my butt. But it's not dark or malicious in any way. I don't feel that at all. But I just feel that something's being a pain. So somebody wants attention. So I'm going to give them some in the form of sage and sweetgrass and some frankincense, and tell you don't toe the line, you get the hell out. You ain't paying the rent. Let's go. So anyway, all right, guys, that's about going to wrap it up for us tonight. Remember, we love you all. Be good, be kind, be nice. Take care of each other. Help each other out. Find the magic in every day, and remember to laugh as much as you can. We'll see you Wednesday night for the next show. You all be good. Take care, and I'll be watching and taking attendance on Wednesday. See you then. I do this the sound effect now. That helps. All right. Good night, everybody. Take care. We'll talk to you soon.